All right, everyone, listen. Like I said, this idea is on growth and decay. We have seen so many things around the world that whose model behaves in exponential growth and decay. Can we have some examples of real life situations that follows exponential growth and decay? Speak louder, please.
Bacteria.
You just said bacteria. That's just one word. I don't know what you mean by bacteria. You need to tell me the context, not just a word. What?
Bacteria growth.
Bacterial growth, yes.
The coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
Depreciation.
Depreciation. These are some of the things that follows exponential growth and decay, whose model follows exponential growth and decay. Understand? So when you have situations like that, it is, it is very useful for you to have an idea, a background knowledge of what, how to move your ways around this and how to interpret them. Not just to solve, but to interpret. Because that's one of the problems. Some of us like to solve algebra, but can you interpret what you are solving? If you are given a word problem, do you know what it is? Now, the first part, I will probably give you a short notes later, but because I prepared a worksheet already, so I thought we just go straight into, and because this is not the first time we are dealing with exponential growth and decay, is it? It's just in a different dimension this time around, because we have now done how to sketch exponential function. That's the reason I'm bringing this back. Okay? And then how can we use a calculator? Can you please focus, please? And then how can we use a calculator in real exam or even your internal assessment here? Now, the first one sounds familiar. This is virus regime around the world. And how virus spread is also in an exponential pattern. Oh, somebody caught the virus, spread it to 3 people spread it to 3 more people, then it begins to grow like that. A flu virus spread in a school, hopefully not us. The number N infected after T days is given by this model. So this is a model of the spread of that virus after T days. And it says T greater than or equal to 0. Of course, you cannot have a negative. You can't say -1 days ago, right? So when you say T is equal to 0, it means you have not started counting any day. It says after T days. After 0 day means which day? Come on. I need this to be a two-way conversation. Please don't just look at me. So when I ask question, I need quick response. After T days. So when T is equal to 0, what are we talking about? The initial day. Find the number of people infected initially. So how do you interpret this if you were doing it? You have done it, so tell me how you did this quickly.
Substitute the value
Substitute
0 into T.
Substitute T is equal to 0. Why T is equal to 0? I can't hear you. I'm even very close to you.
Because it is the initial number.
The initial number. Well, that's what they want us to find. So why do you choose T is equal to 0? Can I choose T is equal to 4? Can I choose T is equal to 20?
No, because it is 0 days.
It's after 0 day. The initial is after 0 day. So all you have to do is put T is equal to 0, and then N will be equal to 4 times 1.332 raised to power 0. Don't need for calculator for this. I hope nobody's pressing calculator. Why did I say that? Oh, alright. 1.332 raised to power 0. Why did I say no need for calculator? Yes?
Because anything to the power of 0 is 1.
Anything to the power 0 is 1. So I hope nobody is pressing calculator for this one. So that's 4 times 1, which is equal to 4. Is this acceptable in an exam? Why is it not? Anika?
You need to write a conclusion.
Are you Anika, master?
Sorry.
Thank you. Why is it not at this?
Because 4 can be any number.
What do you mean 4 can be any number? 4 can only be 4. Just like you say Anika can be anybody. No, Anika has to be Anika. Yes, the explanation will be?
4 is the initial number of people.
Do you get my question? I said, is this acceptable in an exam and why?
No.
No, why? I don't understand what you mean by 4 is the initial number. I thought that's what we just calculated. So why is it not acceptable? That's my question. Ryan, will it be acceptable in an exam if this is what I do and why? We don't have all this, please. We still have about 2 questions. So when I'm asking a question, I need a quick response. King.
You need to state 4 as a number.
What?
Like you need to state the 4's number.
What did they say? I didn't hear that.
State 4 as a number of people like initially infected with say.
I need to what?
You need to state that 4 is the initial amount of people that was infected.
What do you mean by state? Do you understand what you mean by state? That's the reason I'm asking. Even though I get what you mean, but pretending not to get it. So, how can you explain that better? Because Ada, for example, does not understand what you mean by I need to state, because I thought we just did. So someone might think, oh, well, that's what we just did. What do you mean by that?
Right, the number of people.
Good. Write a conclusion, like a statement. Why is this conclusion important, Mr. Jensen?
So, you can't.
Kelly?
Because equals n represents is
Why is the conclusion important is my question. Joey?
Like,
You
so
say
that
we need
it's-
to state something. Why is that important?
So that you specify that the value you have calculated is responding to the question.
Not quite. You see, this is why we are learning, all right? Of course, I don't need a perfect student in the class. I just want idea. Yes, sir.
So you can tell the examiner you know what you're doing instead of just punching numbers into a calculator.
Not quite. Yes,
It's
sir.
a problem question.
It's a what problem question. Thank you, Anson. It's a what problem question. It's not just solve for X. So you don't stop there. You communicate back the idea. That's part of that communication skill you need to develop. It's a what problem question. So you give it back to them the way they've given it back to you, they've given it to you. Okay? The question says, find the number of people infected. The question never said, find the value of n. So it's a word problem question and you need to be given back that same format. Okay? Therefore, 4 people were initially, yes? Complete for me.
Were initially infected.
Were initially infected. Please help yourself by contributing. Don't just be quiet. Calculate the number of people who were infected after 16 days. Marco, what do we do? Fast, please.
Substitute number t to 16.
So substitute t is equal to 16. So n equals 4 times 1.332 to the power 16. Yes, what is that in your calculator?
$393.
You have done it, just tell me yes.
$393.
393. Is that a point?
It's actually 392.76.
So approximately 393.
Yeah,
So
approximately.
that can
Here's
just.
one number.
It's an estimate, of course. Yes, what is it?
I want to ask if it's like it's asking the number of people who were infected. So if it gives you a decimal number, you just round it down or round it up.
I don't think we will really focus on that. The reason is because, number one, it says, oh, this does not say estimate. So I thought this is the one that says estimate. Okay, this is calculate. So we want to be really sure. I don't think it would be that significant. I'll tell you why. But I get what you mean. After 390, after 15 days, you will not be up to here, right? You said it's 392 point what? 76. So it is approximately at 393. But what she's trying to say is that, do we have that number yet? It's like, oh, we have more than 392, but not up to 393 yet. So that argument will be valid. But I think you can have it both ways. Because we can't get, this is not a model that gives you exact number. Is that not? So if you tell me, oh, 392, because it's not 393 yet, I'll take it. Remember, even if you look at the this one of the parameters here, it's not even a whole number too. It's a decimal. So are you sure this decimal is not even an approximated value because they want to keep it to 3 decimal places? Do you understand? So if I'm to give you this question, I will probably use the word estimate, not calculate, to avoid any form of ambiguity. Am I making sense? So it's an estimate. Okay? All right. Okay, think of it this way. After one person, you have 4. Well, after 1 day, you have 4 times 1 point something. How do you have 4 times 1 point something equal? Do you understand? So it's an estimate. So I get what you mean. Very brilliant. Okay, so again, we write the conclusion. There are 1,200 people in a school. Estimate the time it will take for everybody to catch the flu. What does that mean? What do you do first? I will advise you not to write, which is what Mr. Ryan is doing. You're supposed to be part of this. Think along as I'm talking and be ready to answer questions, not be ready to write anything I put on the board. You don't learn that way. And you too, King, drop your pen. But if you choose to continue to write, I'll let you do it. But my advice to you, don't try it. Yanko?
You put 1,200 into n, so it'll be 1,200 equals to 4.
So for this one, it means n is equal to 1,200. So we are talking about when 4 times 1.332 raised to power t equals 1,200. How do we solve this?
And then you move the 4 to the other side, which is 1,200 divided by 4. And then
so it's saying 1.332 to power t will be 300. You're correct?
Yes.
Okay, how do we solve that?
And then continue.
We take log. So you can do log. Or you can also use your technology. Both are allowed. Unless it is specific. Okay? Exponential problem especially. Unless the question is specifically telling you you cannot use graph. Let's say, for example, is in paper 1. Anyway, they can't give you something like this. You're not expected to use log in your head. Or maybe leave your answer in logarithmic form and it's in paper 1. Paper 1 is no calculator paper. In that case, you don't have a choice but to use log. Okay? But you find yourself in a situation whereby the calculator is not prohibited, you can make use of the graph. When you make use of the graph, which means you use your function in your graphic display calculator, you have to sketch what you see. You don't just say, oh, from my calculator, from my decimals, from whatever. No, nobody cares what that looks like. You have to sketch what you see. So there are 2 ways from here. You can make use of your log using the property of logarithm that you have learned, or you go to your calculator. If I want to use my calculator, how do I do it? Anyone? What do I check in the calculator to solve this? I'm not saying press your calculator. Explain to me, as a layman, what will I do to use calculator to solve this? Yes, Elsie?
You put 300 to the other side.
I can't even hear you, sir.
You put 300 to the other side.
Okay.
So it's one equation.
Okay.
Then you can plot.
So he's proposing that to solve this, we put 300 to the other side, so we have 1.332 raised to power t minus 300 is equal to 0. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do next?
And then you can use the 1.332 to the power of 3 minus 300 and put that
1.332 to the power of t,
minus 300 to the graph without the minus.
What do you mean use in the graph?
You need to put it in the calculator.
We plot, not use in the graph. We plot the graph of. So when you use some of this terminology, I have people here who don't even understand what you're saying. Okay? And again, I talk about the communication skill. If I'm talking and you are not getting it, there is no communication yet. Understand? So whatever you are writing, think of the other person. If somebody is speaking to me this way, will I get it? So that is the way your examiner should be, the situation you should put your examiner as well. Understand? I'm not talking about examiner alone. See yourself as an expert in future, talking to people about the spread of coronavirus. And you are giving us languages that we don't understand. How do you want people to take it seriously on the TV? You understand? So we put this in the graph. Do you know how to use your graph to plot graph? I'm not sure if I have that here. Okay, I don't think I can edit this. But here is the function, calculator function. So everyone, try that's 1.332 raised to power t minus 300. Try to plot it using this function. In that case, you will only need y1. You don't need y1 and y2. And plot it. Now, when we plot it, how do we determine the solution of this problem? If we plot it, okay, plot it first. Plot it and tell me what it looks like.
I left it in my laundry.
I thought I told you to always bring your calculator to class. Yanko, I've told you that before. Not once, not twice. Always leaving it in the locker for what? Have you plotted in the graph? Only y1, because here we are not dealing with 2. I'll keep saying this again and again. Practical, hands-on is what makes you learn faster and better. So when we're having something like this, everybody should participate. Yes?
I don't know why, but my calculator does not want to put X in. Whenever I press the button that puts X in, it puts a Y.
Puts in Y?
Yeah.
How?
Look, see, look. When you press this button, you put X, right? But when I press it, it's Y.
Where is the X? That's not the X. Your X is down here.
So that's big X.
Doesn't matter, try it.